yours.
Welcome to the Lacrosse Game of the Week presented by Dodge Nitro with Bill Mahar. I'm Craig Rubzinski, and we've got a good East Division rivalry going tonight. The Rochester Knighthawks going for a franchise record 12th straight victory, and the Buffalo Bandits looking for revenge after a 14-10 loss on Friday night. And we've just learned that Buffalo Bandits star forward John Tavares will not be in the lineup, so that's definitely going to affect head coach Darius Kilgore's plans. Mark Stainhouse will be one of those players that needs to step up tonight.
Yes, Mark Stainhouse, obviously a patented scorer here for Buffalo. He's the guy in the orange shoes, flying up and down. He's the transition guy who will get things going for the Buffalo Bandits tonight and hopes to bring home that win for the Buffalo fans tonight.
And in goal, Michael Thompson gets a start. Steve Dietrich was injured on Friday. He's got an MCL injury, so Michael Thompson, only the second-year man, is going to be counted on huge tonight.
Second-year man, but has seen action in 8 games this year, and obviously he's seen some shots when Steve Dietrich, known as Chugger's, gone down. So he's had some experience, and will definitely look to be the backstop here tonight for the Buffalo Bandits and take a shot at the victory tonight.
And for Rochester, it's John Grant. He leads the league in points, going for his first scoring title. This is his 8th season in the National Lacrosse League. Very well could get it now without Tavares playing. And Grant definitely taking the team on his back. He had 9 points last night.
Yeah, John Grant, again, obviously the guy for the Rochester Knighthawks. League leading in scoring here, and really looks to fill it up tonight. Rochester really wants to stick in their game plan, get John Grant involved early, and hopes for that positive outcome and that flow into the playoffs.
And the Rochester Knighthawks and the Buffalo Bandits getting ready to do battle here at the Blue Cross Arena. Stay tuned. National Lacrosse League action on Versus coming up next.
We do have a confirmed sighting. Copy that. Black SUV. We do have a visual.
Introducing the all-new Dodge Nitro. Careful, it's Nitro Active.
1985, Gretzky makes the great one seem like an understatement. 1994, Messier backs up his mouth with his stick. 2006, Doug Wade separates shoulder, lifts cup with his heart. April 2007, the NHL scoring champ comes home for his playoff debut. Senators Penguins Game 3, tonight at 6 Eastern on Versus.
Today's game is brought to you by the all-new 2007 Dodge Nitro, loaded with adrenaline. And Reebok, the official outfitter and equipment provider of the National Lacrosse League. And Progressive Direct. Think easier. Think Progressive. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Welcome to the Blue Cross Arena for National Lacrosse League action. The Rochester Knighthawks, the top team in the National Lacrosse League, 13-2, meeting one of their fiercest rivals, the Buffalo Bandits at 10-5. And Bill, let's talk about the progressive keys to today's game first for the visiting Buffalo Bandits.
Yeah, obviously the Bandits want to have a good effort tonight from their goalie Thompson. They want to, roll into the playoffs here. They know they're already in. Steve Dietrich's out for the evening, and they want to roll in with Thompson. He wants to get a good start running into the playoffs. Obviously, both teams want to stay healthy, going into a big playoff series here coming up over the next few weeks. So no penalties, stay healthy, not getting hurt, and really challenge a real challenge tonight with both teams with that big throughway rivalry. So they want to really go after each other right from the start.
The crew chief tonight, Tom Sutton, assistant referee Grant Spies, and the technical referee Steve Miller as we get set to get underway. Rochester and the home whites, Buffalo and the Road Blacks, and the face-off won by Crosby of Buffalo. And we're talking about staying healthy. A couple of scratches tonight. Of interest, John Tavares out of the lineup for the Buffalo Bandits, as is goalie Steve Dietrich. For Rochester, goalie Pat O'Toole and veteran defenseman Reggie Thorpe and Marshall Abrams. Buffalo, the first possession of the ball game. As the ball is stripped away but recovered by Paulus. Up top now to Dante, dumps it in front of the net, and that one is scooped up by Chris Schiller. Back away come the Knighthawks in transition. Schiller now going to settle it down in the Buffalo zone over to Scott Evans. Evans watched by Mark Stainhouse, and he lofts it up top to Ken Millen. He's having a career year this year for the Knighthawks, closing in on 50 points. Sean Evans on the half wall, dumps it up top for Grant. Grant now trying to get around Billy D. Smith, has it far side. Tries to dump it in front of the net. It's deflected away, and the loose ball is scooped up. And the Bandits now trying to clear their own end. Dan Teed across midfield into Knighthawks territory.
And Rochester last night winning in Buffalo, a big key victory there. Great 5-on-5 team. They really want to play their game tonight. Stay in the 5-on-5, not give Buffalo any chances here early.
And the shot is stopped by Weatherup. Tapped in on goal, and that one goes wide, and Phil Weatherup getting the start tonight. He has not started since 2004 when he was in Arizona. And for Pat O'Toole, Pat O'Toole has not missed a game as a Nighthawk. He has never not dressed. So O'Toole, the veteran goalie for Rochester, the last time he didn't start was 2003. The shot goes wide of the net. That was January 12th when Pat Campbell started in a win at Vancouver. So very unusual for Pat O'Toole not only not to be starting, but not only he is not dressed as well.
Yeah, definitely not knowing what to do with themselves here. Not dressed in the home whites here for Rochester, but you know, we'll be cheering on his team here for victory, and they really want to play hard and get a lot of momentum again going into their playoffs.
And Buffalo now, Crosby, the former Nighthawk. In the slot, the shot, and it's kicked away by Weatherup. Banks across midfield. They're going to wave off the over and back, and Scott Ditzel tracks it down. Ditzel looking now, looking in front of the net, still with it, as a defenseman out of Syracuse University flips it over. And now the Nighthawks offensively, Williams, who's wearing the captain's C tonight, as he feeds it over now to Micah Kersey. The shot, he bounces it wide of the net, and Hill grabs the loose ball, and Buffalo now very slowly and methodically moving it up the floor.
And Buffalo without their leading scorer and NLL all-time leading scorer John Tavares out here, they're really going to look to gel with some of their younger guys on the floor. Hill being one of them, getting Dosty into the game quickly is a big key for this Buffalo Bandit team.
And Weiss can't hang on. Dosty now has it stripped away, and he had 3 goals and an assist in the Friday loss to the Rochester Nighthawks. He's second on the Bandits in points. Rochester now, Grant comes into the game with 106 points to lead the league. That's also a career best for Grant. Grant now takes it in, feeds it over, touch pass in front. Williams can't find it in his feet, and Stainhouse picks it up. He was the NLL Transition Player of the Week just a week ago.
And as I alluded to in the beginning, he's got those patented orange shoes out there to match the orange hair, the red hair, and he's excited to watch because he can move up and down the floor quickly.
Delby Paulus, who's out of Rutgers University, trying to get around Pat Dutton, a local product out of Webster. Has it now in the far corner in Nighthawks territory. 11:30 to go. We're scoreless here in Rochester, New York. Up top to Dosty. He can't hang on to it. Loose ball is picked up. Back away comes Dutton. Penalty upcoming to Buffalo. Fed over to Toll. Toll flips it in front of the net. And that one is tracked down in the near corner by Micah Kersey. And Phil Weatherup to the Rochester bench. Rochester now with the extra attacker. 11:08 to go. First quarter, we are scoreless. Dumped down low. Now up top to Grant. Winds. Fakes the shot. Now feeds a Kersey. The shot over the top of the net. And the rebound is tracked down. Flipped over to Grant. Ducks away from a check by Dosty. Grant now working it up top. Feeds it over to Williams in front to Sean Evans. The shot kicked into the far corner by Thompson. Millen can't pick it up, but Williams is there. Fights off one check. Feeds it over to a Kersey. Now dumped in front of the net. The shot, he scores! Sean Evans.
That's great work by the Rochester Nighthawks. Really trying to gel here into this game. Kind of a sloppy start for both teams, but you saw the power play. Good ball movement. A Kersey in tight. That's brother to brother, Evans to Evans there. And Sean Evans, the recipient, just kind of nice hands, soft touch inside, turns, faces Thompson, and sticks the first goal of the evening here for the Rochester Nighthawks.
So 1-0 Rochester, and Sean Evans from Scott Evans. Scott Evans held to just 1 point in the win over Buffalo. And a scrum forward, and Laverty comes away with it. The time of the goal at 4:23, Rochester with a 1-0 lead. Dumped across midfield to Dosty. Gives it over now to Dan Teed, left wing side. Watched there by David Brown. Dumps it in front of the net, and Weatherup's going to play it off the end boards. Dumps it down the floor in transition, hits the back of Teed. And they're still trying to track it down as Scott Evans goes after it. Greer digging for it. And Bill Greer is going to bounce it over to his right to Scott Evans.
Yeah, great hustle there on Rochester. Greer doing a nice job of getting in and always hustling to pick up that loose ball. As we see a turnover here by Rochester, an illegal pick interference, and it'll stay in possession of Buffalo.
9:44 to go, and the Knighthawks lead the Bandits 1-0.
What kind of eating habits are your kids learning? Introducing Subway Fresh Fit Meals with new better-for-you sides and drinks. Subway, eat fresh.
What is character? Is it in your blood, or can it be learned? Will you recognize it when you see it? Not if you have to ask. Tennessee VS Cognac, pure character.
Do you really need that 100,000 BTU grill? Or that 7.1 channel home theater system? Do you really need a motor oil that protects for 15,000 miles? You bet. Mobil 1 Extended Performance. Its proven anti-wear technology is guaranteed to protect your engine for 15,000 miles. 5 times longer than traditional oil change intervals. Mobil 1 Extended Performance.
When it comes to going bald, you now have a choice. Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
It is your real hair. It's your natural hair. You wash it, you cut it, you swim with it.
Bosley is the world's most experienced hair restoration experts, having pioneered virtually every major advancement in the art and science of hair restoration.
I'm very satisfied, very happy with what I've done. This has got to be one of the best decisions I've made in my life, I'll tell you that.
Bosley Hair Restoration is a relatively simple outpatient procedure. The results look completely natural, and it's affordable on nearly any budget. Call the toll-free number now to receive your free, no-obligation information kit that will help you decide if hair restoration at Bosley is right for you. You don't have to accept going bald. Do something about it right now.
Call 1-800-304-8147. That's 1-800-304-8147. Call now.
The NLL yearbook is available now with in-depth coverage of all 13 teams. Go to NLL.com to buy yours today. Welcome back to live action here at the Blue Cross Arena, and the shot by Weiss hits the back of Steve Toll. And Buffalo now working it around, and that goes by Crosby, and Weatherup out of his goal, and he's going to try to play it ahead. 1-0 Rochester. Bounced over now to Sean Evans, the lone goal scorer thus far tonight. Evans now across midfield. Takes it down into Bandits territory. Trying to work it in front of the net. Gets it over now to Stephen Hoare. And he dumps it across far side to John Grant. Grant trying to get around his man. Dumps it up top to a Kersey. Hits his stick. And it's tracked down up top now by Stephen Hoare. Hoare dumps it up top. The shot, and a shot clock violation. It's going to go back the other way.
Yeah, both teams here really want to kind of stay into the fluid, the transition in this game. It looks in starting out very sloppy. And, you know, obviously not a lot on the line for either team, but they're still going to go hard at each other, and they definitely want to be able to carry that into next week's action in the playoffs. So, you know, they'll tighten up here and start to gel as a group here as you see the game progress.
Stainhouse trying to get around Jack Reed, the product of UMass. And he was a first-round draft pick this past draft, and now Dutton takes the feed. And Pat Dutton, a product of Cornell University. He gives it over to John Grant. Watch there by Clay Hill. Grant now trying to get around Hill, has it far boards, dumps it up top to Williams. His pass is knocked away by Billy D. Smith. Smith now across midfield, the transition for Buffalo. Smith runs into Williams, and he's going to take it back up top. 8:06 to go, first quarter. Now fed in front of the net, cross crease pass, and it's knocked away by Toll as Smith tried to feed it across, but it was knocked away. That pass was intended for Phil Sanderson.
And Smith had an opening there. He thought for a second about going, but held back, and then saw the 2-on-1 creation, and just great hands again by Toll, picking that off, holding his own, floating in the back, and just picking the pass off, and that's just smart play by a great defensive player, Steve Toll for Rochester.
And Sean Evans knocked down, and it's fed ahead now to Stainhouse. Stainhouse could have a breakaway if he hurries. Stainhouse is Weiss breaking in front of the net. Stainhouse trying to get around Scott Evans. And now Reed slides over to help out. And Stainhouse is going to dump it back for Brett Bucktooth. Bucktooth flips it in front of the net, and that one is grabbed out of the air by Bill Greer. Greer across midfield, he hits Williams. Williams is watched there by Crosby, takes it deep into Bandits territory. 7:08 to go, 1-0 Rochester. Williams over to Acursi. Acursi trying to get around one. Now takes it to his right, gives it over to Grant. Grant with it, sidesteps the check by Crosby. Now pulls it back up top. Grant with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Feeds it in front of the net. He can't connect as Millen was tied up. And the loose ball after the shot clock violation is taken there by Hill.
And Buffalo obviously wants to get into a 5-on-5 situation. Take their chances when they can in the transition with Steinhaus and get him down the floor like you saw there, but really not much there as Rochester's very stingy in the defense department.
Dumped in front of the net to Dan Teed, and another errant pass. And now Pat Kugovin fights off one check. He needs some help, and Brown will loft it back to Toll, who fires it quickly up the floor to Pat Dutton. Dutton now dumps it over to Williams. Williams watched there by one man trying to get around one check, dumps it up top as he was guarded there by Chris White. The shot from the outside bounced off the right shoulder of Thompson, goes out of play, and Rochester will get the ball back on the restart. As that's to the left of Thompson. 5-3 coming into the game. The shot goes wide of the net by Mike Acursi. Loose ball is tracked down, but Sanderson chops it away. And Buffalo now in transition. Steinhaus, a 2-on-1 break. He's got Crosby with him. Crosby in front, the shot, and it goes wide of the net. Steinhaus fighting for the loose ball. Takes it in on goal. Steinhaus, the shot over the top of the net, and Weatherup grabs it off the end boards.
Well, that's the type of action we're going to see out of Steinhaus. He will get up the floor quickly, it's a 2-on-1 situation. Just a great job by Weatherup, standing tall and blocking that shot.
Grant now takes a check from Brett Bucktooth. Grant now approaching the net, underhands it over to Scott Evans. Evans now feeds it in the slot to Williams, took his eye off it. Now still trying to track it down, and he rolls it over to Ken Millen. And he is tied up by Bonterre, and another shot clock violation. It'll be Buffalo possession, 5:08 to go, and a defensive struggle thus far.
Definitely very sloppy on Rochester's part here early, trying to get into that flow of the game, the gel here. You know, they want to, again, keep it going, but 4 shot clock violations, and those are turnovers. They are wasting the clock, but it's only a 1-goal lead here, 1-0 in favor of Rochester.
Teat now dumps it over the shot, he scores! Delby Paulus ties it at 1.
And that's what happens when you're flat-footed on offense. They come back on defense, and Rochester's flat-footed. Delby Paulus, the Rutgers product, just a great little handle inside. Little dump pass inside, meets Weatherup low and ties this thing up early in the first quarter here. But just a shot, point-blank range. No one steps up, flat-footed for the Rochester Knighthawks. And just like that, it's 1-1.
And Dan Teed and Kevin Dostie assisting at the goal at 10 minutes and 12 seconds here in the first quarter. It's going to be Rochester ball off the face-off violation. And we're going to have a timeout on the floor. 4:48 to go, and we are deadlocked at 1.
I signed up for car insurance on Progressive.com. I saved money, which is great, but they also have these local response vehicles. And if you're in an accident or need an estimate or whatever, a Progressive guy will come to you. And they're all over. I am a musician who's on the road a lot, so it's pretty cool that they'll come to me if my van, you know, gets pummeled by adoring fans. Or if I hit a pole.
Progressive. Saving hundreds is just the beginning.
It came out of nowhere.
Hey, think I got here by sitting on my butt all day playing video games? Come on, get out there on a Honda. Who knows? Maybe one day some kid will be playing you.
The Honda CRF F-Series. Unplug your kids. As low as $39 a month upon approved credit, and up to $200 in bonus bucks on select models.
Think you know bull riding? Join Tractor Supply and Versus to test your skills. It's one for the money. Just log on to versus.com/TSC and pick the rider you think will win the next PBR One for the Money event. One lucky fan will have a shot at the jackpot each week. And every entry gives you a chance to win a trip to the PBR World Finals, as well as other great Tractor Supply prizes. The PBR, Saturday and Sunday night. The competition is on Versus.
Well, the battery's good, and the starter's brand new. So I figure it's got to be the alternator, right? Well, I go down to AutoZone to get a new one. The guy says, well, let's check out the old one first. No sense buying something you don't need. Turns out it's just a bad cable. You know, I could have spent a lot of money swapping out parts till I got it right. But with AutoZone, piece of cake.
Welcome back to the Blue Cross Arena in Rochester, New York with Bill Mahar, Craig Rupczynski, and we are tied up 1-1 after the goal by Delby Paulus. And the Knighthawks now in Buffalo territory as Micah Kersey fires it across now. Taken there by Williams. He gives it over to Ken Millen, now to John Grant. Grant bringing it up top. Fakes the shot, now on the run, the shot. Thompson kicks it away, and the loose ball. Evans goes after it. And a crease violation. Now Sean Evans tied up to the left of Thompson. And we might be getting a penalty upcoming here to Rochester's Sean Evans.
Yeah, Sean Evans, he went in after it. You know, obviously, playoff implications aren't at stake here, but he's still going hard. As Evans was not happy about getting over the top on that and slams the Bandit player that's Phil Sanderson into the boards pretty hard and looking for some action. He's going to catch a 2-minute penalty. We're going to see the power play unit here. 5-on-4 for the Bandits in black.
So the Buffalo Bandits now Bucktooth over to Dostie. Down low now to Weiss, to Dostie. Up top to Bucktooth. Back now to Dostie. Swings it across, left wing side dump cross crease. And the pass over to Teat is dropped. And Bill Greer is going to pick it up, dumps it in front of the net. And right there is Chris Schiller. And Schiller in transition for the Knighthawks. Rochester leading the league with 22 shorthanded goals. And we've got another penalty upcoming, as the technical referee, Steve Miller, giving Rochester a penalty for leaving the bench early. So a 2-man advantage for Buffalo. We're tied at 1, 3:53 to go here in the first quarter.
And Buffalo looks really, really sharp on the power play. A nice swing pass in there on the last set by Dostie. Look for that. Look for the quick passes and the open goals off the one-time pass inside here. You'll look for those heavy cross-crease passes and the one-time shots here as they play 4-on-3 with an offensive guy back.
And the shot by Teat knocked away by Weatherup. Dostie now dumps it over. The pass over, the shot, and Toll knocks it away as Teat. His shot never made it on goal, and Teat's going to pick it up as Toll lost the handle on it. Dumped over to Dostie, winds and fires. The low shot stopped by Weatherup. Bounced over now. Rochester trying to clear their own end, and Greer trying to race away from Paulus. Scampers across midfield. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. Tied up 1-1. Williams now over to Grant, who's checked there by Smith. Grant now trying to shake a check. He loses it. Williams picks it up. Williams now from long range. He has his shot knocked down, and Grant dumps it over to Stephen Hoare. The shot, he scores!
And Rochester notches another pretty goal here. That's Stephen Hoare, number 23, from John Grant on a pretty pass. You thought the clock was running out on that as the 30-second shot clock was winding down, but Rochester's so lethal on that man down. They lead the league in that category in man down goals. And right there they show you why. It's just great play, great hustle, and Stephen Hoare, the recipient of the goal from John Grant.
So Rochester scores down 5-on-3. And Grant now with 107 points. Kersey has it, bringing it back, the longtime Bandit. He came over in a blockbuster deal 3 years ago, and Grant has it stripped away, and it rolls out of play. And a shot clock violation, and Laverty now hits Stainhouse. Stainhouse trying to get away from one, but Grant was just heading off the floor. Rochester just short one man now for the next 14 seconds. Up top now to Bucktooth. Now to Dostie. Dostie down low to Roger Weiss. Back to Dostie. Up top, Bucktooth the shot into the midsection of Weatherup. Weatherup now tries to hit his man, and Greer is checked there by Bucktooth. But now Scott Evans racing in the Bandits' territory. The shot and a save made by Thompson.
Easy save for Thompson. Stands tall. Evans, a big guy, coming down 6'1". Comes down, and nice save inside by Thompson on the charge.
Buffalo now looking to tie it up with 1:28 to go. Both teams back at even straight. The shot, and Weatherup makes the save. He kicks it out. The loose ball is free. Weiss going after it. Kugerman going after it and taps it ahead now to Greer. Greer now approaching midfield. Dumps it over now to Williams. Williams shadowed there by Smith. Over now to John Grant. Laverty picked by Williams. Grant on the far boards, bringing it up top. Grant now to Ken Millen. Millen flips it over, dumped in front to Stephen Hoare, loses a handle on it, takes a heavy chop in front, he scores! Ken Millen.
Not a very smart play by Thompson, coming out to try and make a check. Going to get a penalty for that, it looks like. But a great hustle by Millen. He takes the slash and finds Williams right in front of the goal for an easy dump in. No goaltender to be found. Thompson out of the goal. Rochester takes the lead 3-1 as the first quarter runs out for the Bandits.
So 3-1 Rochester, and it's tracked down by Phil Sanderson. The goal, Ken Millen. Stephen Hoare will pick up the first assist. The goal at 14:07. Bucktooth now with it. Getting away from Greer as Buffalo looks to cut the lead down to 1. Hollis. Watched there by Greer. Fed in front of the net. The shot. And Weatherup with a big save. And they slid over to his left.
Pretty save there by Phil Weatherup. And we may have a crease violation, but they did blow the whistle.
And Rochester now, the net to our right is empty, and a Kersey. Going to cross midfield, 18 seconds to go. 3-1 Rochester. 13 seconds left. And Rochester, now Evans. Scott Evans behind the net to Ken Millen. Feeds it in front. Williams can't handle it. Grand shot stopped there by Thompson. Loose ball is free. And a heavy hit applied by Scott Evans with 1 second left. And time has expired at the end of one quarter here from the Blue Cross Arena. It's the Rochester Knighthawks 3 and the Buffalo Bandits 1.
We know what men like. New Mitchum Smart Solid. Powerful protection, unbeatable against white residue. Wow, let's see that again. For powerful all-day protection that doesn't come off on your shirt, be a smart Mitchum man.
Of all the numbers you encounter, along your journey to wherever you're going, you'll find there's one number you can always count on for a great night's rest. Super 8, now with free high-speed internet, free breakfast, and more. Super 8, see you along the way.
Welcome to Ranger Country, where the redesigned Polaris Ranger with electronic fuel injection outruns, outcarries, outhauls, outpulls, and outrides every utility vehicle out there. The Polaris Ranger with electronic fuel injection. Polaris Ranger. Hardest working, smoothest riding. For proof, go to PolarisIndustries.com.
On the next Globe Probe with Tony Sinclair, Tony and the gang travel to exotic Rangpur, India. There they discover action, adventure, and a new gin distilled with rare Rangpur limes that goes with everything.
A gin that goes with everything? What's next? Ice cubes that don't melt.
Tune in at globeprobe.com.
Ready to Tanqueray, Rangpur style.
Always in moderation.
The world of cycling is still up for grabs, and Cyclism Sundays will chase down the best in their pursuit of yellow. Who will lead? Who will attack? Who will be dropped? From the classics to the grand tours, Versus sets the pace. Cyclism Sundays, presented by Hampton Hotels. Paris-Roubaix begins today at 5. The fastest game on turf is here. The National Lacrosse League Championship game. Saturday, May 12th. Only on Versus.
Once in a lifetime. The home playoff debut of Kid Crosby. Tonight at 6 Eastern on Versus.
Last year, 2,000 elite runners covered over 26 miles, hurdled over Heartbreak Hill, conquered Coolidge Corner, and hit the tape in record time.
The fastest Boston Marathon ever!
The race to repeat is on. Plus, our troops run the marathon in Iraq. The 111th Boston Marathon, presented by John Hancock, live Monday at 9:30 a.m. on Versus.
Welcome back to the Blue Cross Arena. Our next broadcast on Versus will be the 2007 National Lacrosse League Championship game on Saturday, May 12th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The playoffs start next weekend, and the championship game airs live here on Versus on Saturday, May 12th. And the shot is knocked down by Thompson, and the loose ball, there's still a battle for it, and that is scooped up by Pat Dutton. Dutton now taking it behind the net, trying to get away from Cooling. Up top now, and the pass taken by Grant near side. The shot, and Thompson denies him.
John Grant looking for that top shelf corner. As soon as it released, he knew that it didn't have a chance. A little low on the trajectory there, so to speak, back to golf terms, but John Grant usually can stick those from anywhere. He knows exactly where he wants to put it, but a nice save by Thompson.
Dan T dumps it down low, taken there by Bucktooth. He hands it off to Paulus, dumps it in front of the net, the shot, Weatherup, oh, and it's tapped wide of the net by Weiss. Now in the side, he scores! Kevin Dostie on the run.
And that's just all hustle by the Buffalo Bandits right there, picking up the loose balls as they work their offense. The inside play, the 2-on-1, ball's loose, Weatherup makes the save, but all hustle off the cut. Right there, Dostie, left-hand cut. Beats the Rochester Knighthawks, and things are still tight here, 3-2.
So Dostie scores again. He's second on the Bandits in points. And now Rochester trying to quickly come down in transition, and Sean Evans has to pull it back up top. Wines, fires, rips it wide of the net. Loose ball, Evans picks it up again. And Rochester now getting their offense back out there as Kersey will take the flip pass from Sean Evans. Now over to Williams. Williams in the slot, the shot, he misses the net. Loose ball, Sean Evans. He's tied up by Stainhouse. Stainhouse now flips it ahead. 2-on-1 break the other way for Buffalo. Grant is back for the Knighthawks. Stainhouse looks in front, dumps it across. The shot is knocked away by Weatherup on the inside attempt by Bonterre. Dumped over to Stainhouse. Rochester now kicked ahead, picked up by Scott Evans, racing it on Thompson. The shot, he scores!
And Evans, the big guy, getting into the scoring column early again. And all hustle as Stainhouse tried to pick up the loose ball, and Evans just on the break. Shoulder fake, goes opposite, upper right corner, right by Thompson, and Rochester in that lethal transition game off the errant loose ball.
So 4-2, it's going to be Evans from Scott Ditzel at 143. Rochester again now. It was taken there by Chapman, dumped back to Ken Millen. Dumped by a check by Cooling, has it now on the half wall. Dumps it up top now to Kersey, who's watched there by Hill. Kersey trying to get around, gets a shot up, oh, denied by Thompson.
And we're going to have a crease violation there on the Rochester Knighthawks. You cannot go in that circle, and they will blow the whistle and call you for in the crease. And right there you saw it as Millen went through the crease trying to dive towards the goal.
And Paulus dumps it down low, taken there by Teat. Teat now dumps it in front of the net, behind the back, goes over the top of the net, and Weatherup's going to play it off the back of the goal. And Rochester now, Toll, who leads the league with points among defensemen, ran in front of the net, the shot, he scores!
And that's a great look and a great play as Rochester gets in the scoring column again.
And that is the first professional goal and first professional point for David Brown.
And it took me a minute. This is his first game here this year for Brown. And it was just a great look from John Grant, who froze the defense and let Brown make the cut. And everybody froze. The pass came over, and Brown notches it on a great look from John Grant.
Shot goes wide of the net. Scooped up now by Pat Dutton. Fires it down now to Chris Schiller, and that's in Bandits territory. Schiller now over to Williams. Flips it down low to Grant. Grant trying to get around big Troy Bonterre. Grant with it. Behind the net, still trying to shake away from two checks. Grant now flips it in front to Millen. Over to Williams. And he's got to track it down. 3 seconds on the shot clock. The quick shot knocked away by a Kersey. But the loose ball is picked up, and Rochester will reset on offense. Oh, and a heavy check thrown on Scott Evans, and now he takes a double team hit, but across he scores!
And a dumping goal by Williams, but great hustle by Evans to kind of get the ball to where it needed to be to create the open situation, which was a 3-on-2. Troy Bonterre takes the big hit on Evans, knocks him down twice, which created a 3-on-1 situation for the easy dump in for Williams. Just a little bit of an overcommit, a tic-tac-toe, no chance for Thompson. Rochester lights it up again, 6-2 lead.
And Sean Williams having a career year. Now tacks on a couple more points tonight. Sean Evans scores!
The Rochester Knighthawks have that offensive prowess. They've been going at it hard. As I talked about, it'll take a little time for these two teams to gel and get into the flow of this game. But Rochester all hustle, and that's Evans. He's just got great hands, great release of the ball, and beats Thompson to the low side. That's Evans on a nice looking shot inside as Rochester's pulling away 7-2. In this game of lacrosse, it's all about a game of spurts, and Rochester's got one going right here. It's up to Buffalo to try and stop it and get their own going and keep it close, but no team is ever out in this league and can score bunches of goals quickly.
7-2 Rochester for Sean Evans, his second of the night, his 31st of the year. Dump back now to Paulus, feeds it over to Dostie, hits Teed on the run, the shot, and it's knocked away by Weatherup. Buffalo back at it again. Bucktooth now, tiptoe in the crease, takes it behind the net, looking for a cutter in front of the net. Dostie now taking up top, the shot goes over the top of the net by Weiss. Trapped on the back of the net, and Chris Schiller now going to play it ahead.
Real good opportunity for Buffalo, good ball movement, getting a shot from outside. I think that was Bucktooth taking the shot way out top, but just misses the cage. You got to get those shots in wide open and see the lane and get the shots on goal right there. It bounces behind the goal, and that's a turnover.
And now Williams bounces it across. Taken there by Micah Kersey. Kersey now flips it down low. Pass now as Evans has it dumped in front of the net. Taken by Grant, the shot, save, loose ball, and Thompson scoops it up. Thompson now tied up with Scott Evans, and that one is dumped ahead to Cooling into Knighthawks territory. Cooling walking in, going coast to coast, the shot denied by Weatherup. Loose ball is gobbled up. And Buffalo now dumped in front of the net. The behind the back by Crosby goes wide on the feed by Thanehouse. And Ditzel moves it. Thanehouse goes after it. Stainhouse in there as well, and it's flipped in to the near corner where it's corralled by Sandy Chapman.
Rochester really going to settle things down, get some fresh legs in, get the transition going, get the 5-on-5 started, get the pick and roll, and look like that.
And he scores! The Rochester Knighthawks are up 8-2 on the long-range shot by Sean Evans.
Sean Evans, 2 in a row there. This kid's lighting it up here in this second quarter on a quick release shot. Didn't look like Thompson was quite ready, but deadly accurate, right over the shoulder. A great shot outside by Evans for an 8-2 lead for the Rochester Knighthawks.
And now taken there by Bucktooth. Bucktooth trying to work his way in toward the Rochester goal. Lofts it across to Dostie. 8-2 Rochester. Dostie now taking it to the cage, and he's stripped of the ball. And now Dutton going after it. Dostie still fighting for it. And Dostie comes away with a loose ball, has it behind the net, dumps it in front, and it's taken there by Teat. He hits the back of Schiller. And a shot clock violation. And it's going to be Rochester ball when we come back, as the Knighthawks have opened things up here in the second quarter. They lead the Bandits 8-2.
You need some help?
Yeah. Could you give me a jump?
Sure.
Give it a try. Try getting it some gas. Thanks.
Shearing, enemy of engines. Enemy of shearing, Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic with adaptive molecules that continually separate and reform to help conquer the forces that can tear oil molecules apart. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Do you really need that 100,000 BTU grill? Or that 7.1 channel home theater system? Do you really need a motor oil that protects for 15,000 miles?
You bet.
Mobil 1 Extended Performance. Its proven anti-wear technology is guaranteed to protect your engine for 15,000 miles. 5 times longer than traditional oil change intervals. Mobil 1 Extended Performance.
Millions of Americans have made Hydroxycut the #1 selling weight loss product because it works.
I'm Jessica from Montana, and I lost 22 pounds fast with Hydroxycut.
I'm Dr. John Marshall. I lost 29 pounds and 5.5 inches off my waist using Hydroxycut. I strongly recommend it, both as a new doctor and someone who used it with fantastic results.
I'm Stacy from Wisconsin, and I lost 44 pounds with Hydroxycut. It works really fast.
Get yours at buyhydroxycut.com, Supercenters, GNC, Walgreens, and fine retailers everywhere.
Welcome back to the Blue Cross Arena. Make sure to get your NLL yearbook. It's now available with in-depth coverage of all 13 teams. Go to NLL.com to buy yours today. And Buffalo now working it around the perimeter. Taken by Paulus. Up top now to Bucktooth. Over to Dostie, goes too far. He's got to track it down in the far corner. Dostie up top to Bucktooth. Over to Dostie. Walks in the shot, and it's knocked away by Weatherup. The loose ball, though, is tracked down by Paulus. Has it in the near corner. Now going to dump it up top to Bucktooth. Wine fires, and a sliding save by Weatherup. And Chapman comes away with a loose ball. And he'll dump it ahead now to Steve Toll. Lofts it over now to Ken Millen. Grabs it out of the air as he had to climb the ladder to receive that pass.
Great snag by Millen there. Usually a real tough defender right on top of him. And Rochester wanted to kill off the minute 12 penalty here. So they'll waste the whole 30-second shot clock, try to get a last-minute shot off.
Fed over to Millen. That one was deflected by Stainhouse. Millen now with 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and a shot clock violation. It'll be Rochester turnover. It'll be Buffalo ball. So Buffalo now with just 52 seconds remaining on their power play, and Stainhouse flips it over to Weiss. Now up top to Dostie. Back down low to Weiss. Cross creates the shot, and it's tapped wide by Paulus. Up top now to Crosby. Swings it over now to Dostie. Back to Crosby. Looks in front of the net. Dumps it over to Teed, and he can't pull the trigger. That one rolled out of his stick, but ahead now to Greer. Greer races in our goal. He's got a breakaway. The shot. Oh, Thompson with a spectacular save.
Oh, you said it, Craig. Inside there. One-on-one. Goaltender versus player, and stood his ground. Thompson makes a fabulous save. Got a shoulder on it, a head and shoulders fake by Greer. Just couldn't put it by him, but a great save for the Buffalo Bandits.
Crosby now walking in, fires, and the knuckleball is knocked away by Weatherup as Toll knocked it away. And now Paulus has to track it down up top. Rochester back at even strength, and it's picked off by Toll. Toll across midfield, racing in on Thompson, shoots. Oh, what a save. Loose ball in front. Oh, another save by Thompson. And now a scrum ensues at the top of the crease. And Buffalo comes away with a loose ball.
And Buffalo really got away with one there. A push by Paulus from behind. But Toll having a perfect opportunity. And he's got such great hands inside. Picks that up, anticipation, but can't make it as Thompson stands tall and makes another save.
Buffalo now working it in the near corner, fed in front by Tainhouse. Goes to the crease. Teed picks it up. And Brown's in a battle with Teed, and he comes away with a loose ball. He lost that one ahead. Rochester trying to clear their own end. Dutton with a touch pass to Schiller. The two Rochester natives hook it up. Fed in front to Williams, and he can't hang on. Williams now tracks it down in the near corner, and a crease violation. And it's going to be Buffalo ball when we come back. 4:44 to go here in the second quarter. Thompson's been outstanding as of late, but the Bandits still trail 8-2.
We just got a new car. Good time to look at new car insurance, and we went with Progressive, saving like $400 a year. But what really impressed me was they actually gave me the rates the other big companies. Was not expecting that. I mean, that kind of honesty is... Oh, did you have anything to do with this?
No.
Right.
Get our rates plus competitors at Progressive.com. Honest. Progressive. Saving hundreds is just the beginning.
I was talking to my buddy from the suburbs about all the things that need to be done this time of year. Fertilizing, spraying, trimming, mulching, mowing. He says he has people who do all that. I said same here. Me, myself, and I.
Time to spring into savings at Tractor Supply. Through April 22nd, get a $300 gift card when you buy our 23-horsepower Husky Supreme, or a $150 card with this 20-horsepower Husky. The stuff you need out here is in here. Tractor Supply.
Now technology and simplicity have come together to create a cell phone unlike any other.
Bigger buttons, bigger numbers. Give me a try it.
Jitterbug is the perfect cell phone for me and my mom.
It's nice how the numbers light up.
Wow, how about that?
The soft air pressure really makes a difference. Every word comes through loud and clear.
No cutesy symbols, no flashing lights, just a great phone.
This is good.
Jitterbug is the cell phone my parents will actually use.
Special operators can assist you 24 hours a day.
May I add that name to your phone list, Mrs. Davis?
Jitterbug. Call now, 1-800-832-0082. A Jitterbug is yours with 3 easy payments of $49. Service as low as $10 a month. Call today and get a free car charger.
The NLL yearbook's available now with in-depth coverage of all 13 teams. Go to NLL.com to buy yours today. Make sure also visit NLL.com for live games every weekend all season long. Visit NLL.com. The Bandits now looking for their third goal of the game. The shot at Crosby denied by Weatherup. Rochester now in transition. Schiller now has to settle it down. And he bounces it across midfield to Sean Evans. Now down low to Scott Evans. He hits Williams. Williams watched there by Hill. Flips it over now to Scott Evans. Behind the net to Williams. Over to Grant. Winds, fires, and a stick save by Thompson. And the loose ball is taken there by Scott Evans. Taking it to the cage. The shot. Oh, a kick save by Thompson. Loose ball is free. Grant going after it, loses his stick in the process, and Hill comes away with it for Buffalo. Hill now leading the charge. And he is pressured from behind, dumps it to Stainhouse. The shot by Paulus knocked away. Loose ball, fed in front of the net, rolls through the crease. And now Weatherup just looking up the floor, gets it off to Steve Toll.
Both teams very physical right now in this second quarter. Really going after it. You saw Evans on this end just take a monster shot as he went hard to the cage. And on the other end, Hill, the same thing from the defense from the Rochester Knighthawks. Really, really cross-checking very hard right now.
Pass over now, left wing side, the long-range shot, he scores! Stephen Hoare with the laser.
Hoare with his second goal tonight. You said it, that was a laser. He saw something. I don't know if it was a screen or he just had a lane there, but something said to Stephen Hoare, take this shot. Williams, the feed, steps in, and the rocket lets loose. Thompson can't get anything on that one. 9-2 in favor of Rochester.
And for Stephen Hoare, second of the game, that one at 11:41. Off the face-off win, Crosby now for the Bandits. Dumps it over to Dan Teat near side. Teat now waiting for Dosty, and Bucktooth dumps it down low. Now up the near boards to Bucktooth. He played at nearby Syracuse University. Now over to Dosty. Dosty in the slot. Flips it in front of the net. The shot, and Weatherup kicks away the shot by Weiss. Weiss now dumps it back for Dosty. 2:46 to go in the first half. 9-2 Rochester. Pulled up top now by Bucktooth. Bucktooth dumps it across. Dosty now shaking off one check. Dumps it over. And Teat can't hang out. Penalty upcoming to Rochester. And a holding call coming up to number 7 of Rochester, Pat Dutton.
Hold inside there, and Dutton just scrapping it out inside. But Phil Weatherup, as Thompson made a number of spectacular saves over the last 10 minutes, right there, Phil Weatherup doing the same thing on his end, standing on his head, and you're going to again see the power play unit here for the Buffalo Bandits as you take a look at Dosty, who's leading the Bandits here with 2 goals.
Buffalo now on another power play. That's their 4th of the night. So holding the stick to Pat Dutton and Stainhouse. He was the MVP of the All-Star game this year, held in Portland. Up top now to Crosby. Walks in, fires, he scores! Jason Crosby, and it's 9-3.
And that's the situation you get when you're 5-on-4. So you got to make the defense commit. And right there, Jason Crosby, a former Rochester Nighthawk, traded to Buffalo. The defense didn't commit, and late left an open lane there for him, and the underhand beats Weatherup, who was guessing a little bit there, and Buffalo rather gets on the board here for just their 3rd goal, 9-3 in favor of Rochester still.
12:49, the time of the goal by Crosby. Rochester now down the other end, the shot by Dutton. He is hammered down in the slot, and now Billy D. Smith is going to pick it up, feeds it over to Stainhouse in transition. Stainhouse trying to shake away a check by Brown, takes it in a goal, the shot, he hits the post! And Rochester now on a break the other way, and the ball is mishandled. And back away comes Phil Sanderson, and he gives it now to Dan Teat in Nighthawks territory with 1:26 to go here in the first half. Crosby has it right wing side. Now over to Bucktooth. Bucktooth trying to sidestep a check by Kugovin. And fed in front of the net off the stick of Toll. Now the shot on the wraparound attempt, and that one goes wide. Crosby now spinning through traffic, gets the shot off. Hits his man in front of the net as that got caught in Ditzel. And now the loose ball is picked off on the errant pass up top as Stephen Hoare comes away with it.
Well, you saw Steenhouse. You said he was the NLL MVP in the Portland All-Star game. You saw why. What a fantastic look. Inside, behind the back, goes off the leg of the pipe. I couldn't check it, but it was just an unbelievable shot in there by Stainhouse as Rochester works the ball on 5-on-5 and loses it.
Weiss now dumps it over to his right to Phil Sanderson. 30 seconds to go. 9-3 Rochester. Sanderson, who had a goal in the 14-10 loss Friday night. Back now to Dosty. Gives it over to Phil Sanderson. 20 seconds remaining. Now over to Paulus. Paulus dumps it down. Oh, Bucktooth trying to take it to the cage. He has it stripped away. And Bill Greer took a check. And he looks like he may have been shaken up on the play with 8 seconds to go. And a penalty upcoming to Buffalo.
Yeah, it looks like a slash to that leg.
John Grant now gives it over to Williams. Back to Grant. 3 seconds left. Over to Ken Millen. Flips it in front of the net, and a heavy check in front of the net. And that's going to do it after one half of play. Sean Evans shaken up behind the play. And Rochester with a 9-3 lead as we head into halftime.
So you wouldn't cut just the first knuckle of your pinky off for $1 million?
Yeah, my lacrosse, my whole career would be over.
Get a robotic finger. I'd cut my hand. I'd do it too. You know I'd do it. I'm crazy.
He wouldn't either.
Of course he wouldn't.
He's a lacrosse player.
Brody, pass me some wings, man.
Crazy about lacrosse? Check out the new RBK lacrosse gear, worn by the best in the NLL, like Brody Merrill.
Blue cheese, anybody?
We just hit Leon with chicken.
Damn, man.
Allow 6.
Tonight at 6 in the breeze, punk.
I was watching that first one.
There's more.
Would you like the remote?
Why would I need a remote?
Crazy about lacrosse? Then check out the new RBK lacrosse gear, worn by the best in the NLL, like Rookie of the Year Brody Merrill.
Dude, hold up. Your commercial's on.
Reebok, official outfitter of the National Lacrosse League.
You're awesome. Monetize, dummy.
Man, what's the deal with them? They ain't bugging.
Greasy fast food can slow you down. Introducing Subway Fresh Fit Meals with new better-for-you sides and drinks. It fits into the American Heart Association's approach to a healthy lifestyle. So fuel up and power on. Subway, play hard, eat fresh.
There's something about the freshness of Ireland that brings out the lasses. Now it comes in a body wash from Irish Spring. Smell like you're worth exploring. New, long-lasting Irish Spring body wash. All the freshness of Ireland, bottled.
What is character? Is it in your blood, or can it be learned? Will you recognize it when you see it? Not if you have to ask. Hennessy VS Cognac, pure character.
What your child brings back from an RV trip is more than you can possibly imagine. What will you discover? Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com for a free video and see an RV dealer.
1985, Gretzky makes the great one seem like an understatement. 1994, Messier backs up his mouth with his stick. 2006, Doug Waite separates shoulder, lifts cup with his heart. April 2007, the NHL scoring champ comes home for his playoff debut. Senators Penguins Game 3, tonight at 6 Eastern on Versus.
Today's game is brought to you by the all-new 2007 Dodge Nitro, loaded with adrenaline. And Reebok, the official outfitter and equipment provider of the National Lacrosse League. And Progressive Direct. Think easier. Think Progressive. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. This copyrighted telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the National Lacrosse League. Welcome back to the Blue Cross Arena with Bill Mahar. I'm Craig Rubzinski. And the Knighthawks in the lead 9-3, going for 12 straight wins to extend their franchise record and head into the playoffs 14-2. They're 13-2 right now. The Buffalo Bandits 10-5. Rochester with the #1 seed, home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The Bandits with the #2 seed in the East Division.
Both teams here had a little bit of a flat start in that first quarter. Came on strong in the second half. Goaltenders playing extremely well, both sides. But Rochester really edging out loose balls there, and getting more shots on goal and making it count on the scoreboard, 9-3.
So Rochester now, Scott Evans dumps it up top to Grant. He's got 3 assists tonight. A Kersey over to Scott Evans. And that pass is picked off, and back away come the Bandits. Laverty, he's got a man breaking. He elects to keep it himself, and now he's going to bounce it ahead to Hill. Hill in Nighthawks territory. Opening minute here of the second half, and Rochester in the lead 9-3. Buffalo wearing the road blacks, Rochester in the home whites. Phil Weatherup getting the start for Rochester. Michael Thompson for Buffalo. The shot from the outside, and Weatherup kicks it away as Delby Paulus let it rip. And Weatherup just knocked it away. Rochester now setting it up as Grant gives it over to Ken Millen. Now to Williams. Back up top for Grant. Over now to Williams. Now to Ken Millen. Cross crease pass off the stick of Scott Evans. Dumped up top now to Grant. Over to Williams, and he loses it. And Stainhouse is there to retrieve the loose ball. Back ahead now to Cooling. 13:40 to go here in the third quarter. Dostie runs into Millen. He shakes off that check, and now Buffalo with their offense out on the floor. Stainhouse now, he'll hand it off. And Dan Teat gives it over to Roger Weiss. In the slot, bringing it back up top. Watch there by Schiller. Dumps it over the shot from the outside, and it's knocked away. Stainhouse with the outside shot kicked away with a right pad by Weatherup.
Yeah, Weatherup with a good save inside. Anytime that ball bounces out off the goaltender or a pipe, it retains possession of the team that shot it. And right there, Buffalo will keep it and get a fresh 30 seconds.
And Rochester now, their power play is over. There's penalty time carried back over. Now another penalty upcoming to the Knighthawks. Scott Ditzel. As soon as the ball is touched up, Buffalo now with the extra attacker, and the shot by Dostie, just a rocket, and that one hit the back glass and bounced all the way across midfield. A slashing penalty upcoming to number 25 of the Knighthawks, Scott Ditzel.
And Ditzel just a little aggressive there. Got out, tried to get on the hands, but it ended up a little high, and they got the slashing penalty on him. As you just saw, a rocket by Dostie, as you said, just ricochet off the back glass. And you're going to see a 5-on-4 situation for the Bandits here. They'll look to move the ball and get the easy dump-in goal.
Dostie over to Weiss. Up top now to Bucktooth. Gives it over now left wing side. Now the pass is picked off as Paulus tried to fire it across. Picked off by Greer. Greer races in right wing side to Toll. The shot on the run wide. Greer picks up the loose ball. Sean Evans, the shot, and that one is deflected out of play as Phil Sanderson of Buffalo got a piece of it.
And again, it'll stay Rochester ball because of the deflection up into the nets. It will stay Rochester's possession.
Rochester already with one shorthanded goal. That's their leading 23rd. Stephen Hoare now over to Williams. Williams over to Sean Evans near side. And Evans with a first half hat trick. Fights off a couple of checks by Laverty. Now trying to work his way in front of the goal. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Evans still with it. And he fires it off the helmet of Laverty, and a penalty upcoming to Sean Evans.
And Evans, they're going to get a penalty for an errant shot, I guess. I don't know what they're going to call that. But he was trying to get a shot on the goal as the shot clock ran down. And the objective there is to just toss it in the corner. But Evans tried to make things happen and create a bank shot off the
that's what you want to call it.
Kyle Laverty's head. A little bit of a bank shot there. And catch his own pass and go in and try and score. But they're going to get him on a penalty.
So Sean Evans heads off and he joins the single season penalty minute leader, Scott Ditzel. He set a new record this year. Up top, Stainhouse. 5-on-3 power play. Rochester scored shorthanded the last time they were down 5-on-3. Stainhouse feeds it over. Pass over to Dostie. He can't hang on. He's got to track it down in the near corner. Up top, Stainhouse walking in behind the back feed. The shot, it goes wide of the net. And 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Dostie pressured by Chapman, and the pass over to Stainhouse, and a shot clock violation. It'll be Rochester ball.
Great job, 5-on-3. You see Buffalo pull back an offensive player to get the easier set 4-on-3 and just get the ball movement. But Rochester knocks things down, make it very difficult for Buffalo to get a shot off.
And 18 seconds left in the penalty to Scott Ditzel as Chris Schiller trying to run by a check of White of Buffalo, and he dumps it over near side, taken there by Scott Evans. Fires it in front of the net, and that one, Thompson had to make a save as that was deflected on goal, and Thompson had to get the left arm on it.
And those are tricky sometimes. You never know which way that ball will bounce with the spin on it. It could have bounced straight in that goal on Thompson, but alertly he knocked it away.
So a 5-on-4 power play, 48 seconds remaining in the penalty to Scott Evans. Stainhouse, left wing side, watched by Toll, up top to Crosby, now over to Dostie. Dostie now working it over to Stainhouse, wide fires, and Toll just takes that one right away. Flips it ahead now to Chapman and the two former Toronto Rock teammates, knowing where each other are on the floor, and Chapman is going to bring it back up top as he's pressured by Dostie, and he gives it back to Ken Millen. Now to Micah Kersey with just 19 seconds remaining in the power play for Buffalo. Kersey getting away from one check of Clay Hill, dumps it in front of the net, too far for Millen, but he retrieves it in the far corner, and a shot clock violation. But only 5 seconds remaining in the penalty to Sean Evans. And with 9:56 to go, we're going to take a break here from the Blue Cross Arena with the Knighthawks in the lead, 9-3.
Look around, and what do you see? A beautiful world. Let's fall in love. Open your eyes, and what will you find? Look around, and what do you see?
The fastest game on turf is here. The National Lacrosse League Championship game. Saturday, May 12th. Only on Versus.
When it comes to going bald, you now have a choice. Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
It is your real hair. It's your natural hair. You wash it, you cut it, you swim with it.
Bosley is the world's most experienced hair restoration experts, having pioneered virtually every major advancement in the art and science of hair restoration.
I'm very satisfied, very happy with what I've done. This has got to be one of the best decisions I've made in my life, I'll tell you that.
Bosley Hair Restoration is a relatively simple outpatient procedure. The results look completely natural, and it's affordable on nearly any budget. Call the toll-free number now to receive your free, no-obligation information kit that will help you decide if hair restoration at Bosley is right for you. You don't have to accept going bald. Do something about it right now.
Call 1-800-304-8147. That's 1-800-304-8147. Call now.
The world of cycling is still up for grabs, and Cyclism Sundays will chase down the best in their pursuit of yellow. Who will lead? Who will attack? Who will be dropped? From the classics to the Grand Tours, Versus sets the pace. Cyclism Sundays, presented by Hampton Hotels. Paris-Roubaix begins today at 5.
So Rochester now on the power play with a 9-3 lead, and Rochester 0 for 1 tonight. As Scott Evans setting it up for Rochester, up top to Grant, now to Kersey, back up top for Grant, over to Scott Evans, and the no-look pass is now tracked down by Kersey. Winds, fires, and the shot is scooped off the carpet by Laverty. And Laverty now getting away from Ken Millen, across midfield to Hill. He runs into Williams, who knocks him down to the turf, and a penalty upcoming to Rochester, Sean Williams.
And Williams just aggressive play there, kind of asking what happened, but he did get a push inside, and Clay Hill went down pretty hard on the push, as you see, kind of slid, and Williams kind of asking, hey, listen, I just came in trying to get a check down, and nonetheless, there's going to be a penalty to Rochester, and Clay Hill, the recipient of that one, but even up here, 4-4.
9:15 to go, 9-3 Rochester. Next week, Buffalo will take on Minnesota in the East Division semifinal. Rochester still waiting to see if they'll play Philadelphia or Toronto. Stainhouse bringing it into the slot, now trying to get away from Ditz. Oh, the shot, and Weatherup makes the save, and it caroms to the crease. Stainhouse now flips it in front of the net, the shot, and Weatherup a big save, a pile up in front, and Steve Toll comes away with a loose ball.
You got to hand it to Phil Weatherup, having a great game here so far in play for O'Toole, who's scratched tonight, not active, and Weatherup really standing the test.
And Grant gets a shot off, and that's denied by Thompson. Grant yet to score. He's got 3 assists tonight, and he's covered by Troy Bonterre, one of the toughest defenders in the league. And that errant pass, Bonterre goes after it. Grant now trying to scoop it up, and Grant now shoved down from behind, and Bonterre's gone.
Bonterre, very, very physical player. Just shoves John Grant from behind. And immediately called for the flagrant foul push. And immediately from 4-4, we go to 4-on-3 in favor of Rochester. So you'll see the power play unit for the Rochester Knighthawks on that flagrant foul from behind on John Grant.
So 4-on-3 power play for Rochester. And Buffalo with 2 men in the penalty box. Rochester still with Sean Williams in there. Kersey over to Scott Evans. Up top for Grant, fires the shot wide of the net. Kersey gets the rebound. Over to Grant again. He reloads, now gives it over to Millen to Kersey, winds and fires. He misses the net. Grant now trying to track it down, and that's going to be an over and back violation. That'll be Buffalo possession.
And John Grant again looking to be the trigger man there. Not having a goal this evening. It's not like him not to have a goal, but does have 3 assists. Very unselfish, but he can place that ball anywhere he wants. It's a matter of just seeing the goal there, and Rochester still up 1 man.
Dostie now from up top. Neither team has scored in 10 minutes. Dostie now, the shot kicked away by Weatherup. So a 10-minute plus goal scoring drought for both teams. Fed ahead now to Greer, and Toll overshoots Greer, and now he overruns the ball, and Powis is there to pick it up for Buffalo.
And that glass sometimes plays tricks, and right there it did on Greer.
Stainhouse over Dostie's one-timer. That one clanked off the iron. And Weatherup also got a piece of it, a loose ball push, and Buffalo is going to keep possession.
And the ball was definitely down on the ground, so just a possession call, no foul.
And the one-handed attempt is smothered by Weatherup, and Schiller will bounce it to his right. Greer now all the way down the floor. The one-timer, he scores! Sean Williams.
Just like that, Rochester down on the transition. Williams, Buffalo not getting back in the hole. 1 man deep for Buffalo, and that's not going to do it when you got Sean Williams down there on the quick one-timer that beats Thompson. And Rochester, after the lull, no goals, a long pass. Touchdown to Sean Williams. Rochester 10-3 with 7 minutes to go left in this 3rd quarter.
And that was a power play goal. Williams' penalty had been released, so that was a 5-on-4 power play goal for Rochester. Ditzel with the ball and an illegal pick call. It's going to be Buffalo possession with 6:55 to go.
And that was an interference call down there. You have to be stationary, and it was an illegal pick, and that is a turnover. Buffalo picked that back up.
7:53, the time of the last Rochester goal. And Buffalo now with possession. Weiss up top trying to get around, one check. Now dumps it over left wing side. Tainhouse has it knocked away by Jack Reed. And we expect to see more playing time out of Reed, and he strips it away. And Schiller now trying to outrun Dostie. Schiller taking it in. And now takes it behind the net, in front of the net, and that one is stripped away. It was intended for Scott Evans. And fired ahead now to Hill. Hill now just staring at 3 white jerseys. Now taking it to the cage, the shot, and it's knocked away by Weatherup as Hill went around 3 Rochester defenders. Weiss now in the high slot. Gets the shot out, bounces it into Weatherup, and he's got it underneath him.
Hill Weatherup having a great little flurry right there. A nice kick save, and then he pulled one in. A long pass.
Back down the floor, the shot by Scott Evans is denied by Thompson. Now between his legs, he scored! Scott Evans with a highlight reel goal.
And anytime Scott Evans can put up another between the leg shot, he's going to be happy. That's a la John Grant. But you see him, it's all hustle there. He kind of does a little split move and jump between the legs. Just a nice little patented move inside here. Catching the goalie off guard. Thompson not knowing what hit him there. And Rochester a flurry, 11-3.
Greer now, after the face-off win, dumps it ahead now to Stephen Hoare. Feeds it in front of the net. The shot by Dutton, and a big save by Thompson. He slid to his right to deny Pat Dutton.
And Dutton, the Webster product, Cornell grad, comes down, makes a nice offensive effort there, but a nice save by Thompson, just getting in the way of that one on the 3-on-2 break.
Stainhouse now trying to get around the double team. Dumps it over the shot, and Weather up with a pad save. And back away comes Schiller across midfield. Ducks away from a check by Dan Teat. And he gives it back now to John Grant. Grant drawing the double team. Now gets around Teat. Taking it to the cage behind the back pass off the stick of Williams. And White is going to retrieve the loose ball for Buffalo. And he dumps it back for Laverty. Bounce across midfield to Paulus. And now we've got Sean Evans tied up behind the play with Laverty. And we'll see who's going to pick up a penalty. As Laverty and Sean Evans, I thought they were going to drop the gloves, but just some extracurriculars.
And you think Evans will go all the time, wants to slash. And Evans didn't do anything. He just let Laverty take a stick out of his hand, threw it on the ground, and gave him a shove. And Evans, known around the league as a goer who will fight, laid off, and they're both going to sit for 2 minutes, it looks like.
I think Sean Evans might pick up a misconduct here as well. And both teams are going to be even up. As we take another look at it.
Evans gave him a nice slash on the wrist after he released the ball, and Laverty throws one back at him. And they jawed up, but refs got it under control. They'll each serve.
So 5:03 remaining here in the third quarter. And Delby Paulus, who went to Rutgers, watched there by Bill Greer, into the Knighthawks zone. Paulus now still with it. Now working his way toward the Rochester goal, pulling it up top now to Dostie. Dostie now dumps it across. The shot just goes wide of the net. The loose ball off the near glass, and Dostie picks up the rebound, dumps it across, and that hit Ditzel. Ditzel now scoops it up across midfield into Bandit territory. Ditzel winds and fires, and the save made by Thompson. Loose ball now over to Scott Evans in front to Williams. Williams, a shot denied by Thompson. And now the loose ball is lofted into the air. Thompson plays it to his left to Bonterre.
Thought there might be a push call down low, no call. Very aggressive on both ends. Buffalo defense trying to tighten things up here, being down. They're going to have to get a run going quickly here in order to stay in this game.
Stainhouse trying to get around Jack Reed. Stainhouse now breaks free, and he loses the ball, and Jack Reed picks it up. Reed now one-on-one with Paulus. Scampering now to his right, feeds it in front to Dutton, and that one's deflected away. And a penalty upcoming to Rochester. And that loose ball was picked up by Darrell Seymour. And now Buffalo into Knighthawks territory. 3:35 to go as Weiss will work it over to Dostie as Buffalo has the extra man on the floor on the delayed penalty. Dumps it over left wing side. Toll going after it, and Toll scoops it up after he slashed the stick in half of Brett Bucktooth.
Bucktooth not liking that.
11-3 Rochester. 3:24 left here in the third.
I signed up for car insurance on Progressive.com. I saved money, which was great, but they also have these local response vehicles. And if you're in an accident or need an estimate or whatever, a Progressive guy will come to you. And they're all over. I am a musician who's on the road a lot, so it's pretty cool that they'll come to me if my van, you know, gets pummeled by adoring fans. Or if I hit a pole.
Progressive. Saving hundreds is just the beginning.
Came out of nowhere.
Hey, think I got here by sitting on my butt all day playing video games? Come on, get out there on a Honda. Who knows? Maybe one day some kid will be playing you.
The Honda CRF F-Series. Unplug your kids. As low as $39 a month upon approved credit, and up to $200 in bonus bucks on select models.
engine what it wants. Always ask for Pennzoil.
Do you really need that 100,000 BTU grill? Or that 7.1 channel home theater system? Do you really need a motor oil that protects for 15,000 miles?
You bet.
Mobil 1 Extended Performance. Its proven anti-wear technology is guaranteed to protect your engine for 15,000 miles. 5 times longer than traditional oil change intervals. Mobil 1 Extended Performance.
The NLL yearbook's available now with in-depth coverage of all 13 teams. Go to NLL.com to buy yours today. So the penalty to David Brown. He scored his first professional goal in the first half. Now he's going to sit 2 minutes for slashing. Up top to Crosby. Now to Weiss. Dumps it down low. Cross crease past the shot. He scores. And Dostie feeds it across. And the Buffalo Bandits with their 4th goal of the night.
And again, that's great ball movement by the Buffalo Bandits. That's what you want to do in this situation. 5-on-4, take advantage of the extra man, extra attacker, and Buffalo does that. Again, lacrosse is a game of spurts, and Buffalo needs this now. Very patient. The one-time skip pass over inside to Brendan Thanhouse, and his first goal of the evening there on a tic-tac-toe power play goal by the Buffalo Bandits.
So Rochester with an 11-4 lead after the power play goal by Buffalo at 11:48. Buffalo now, Dostie has it stripped away. And for Thanhouse, his 2nd goal of the season. Now the shot by Weiss on the run. That one whips wide of the net. And Ditzel now has it stripped away as he ran the ball right into harm's way, and Bucktooth swatted it out of his stick. Buffalo now, T. Dumps it over to Bucktooth, taking on Greer in front of the net. The shot, and he's knocked down as he got the shot off. And Weatherett's going to scoop it up, and he's going to dump it ahead over to Pat Dutton with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the third. 11-4 Knighthawks.
And again, Rochester just wants to use all that 30-second shot clock, get a good shot off, and try to wind this clock down as they have a huge lead, 11-4.
Grant now flips it in front of the net to Millen. Millen behind the net now. He flips it over. Now up top to Scott Evans. Winds, fires, and an arm save by Thompson as he got his right arm up. Bonterre now across midfield to Paulus. And Bonterre is known for his physical play. Actually led the Bandits in scoring when they lost to Colorado in the NLL Finals. He had 2 goals. Paulus now dumps it in front of the net. Reed trying to take it away. Dumped up top to Crosby. The shot into the midsection of Weatherup. But in to get the ball out of harm's way is Brown, and Crosby takes it away.
Yeah, great little setup in there. Rochester just not being able to pick up the loose ball, but all hustle on the Bandits here trying to pick things up.
Dostie's shot, save, and the loose ball is flipped wide by Thanhouse. And now Steve Toll comes away with it with 1:14 to go here in the third. Toll now over to John Grant, and an over and back violation. Grant had 1 foot on one side and 1 foot on the other side of the timeline. So an over and back call as the 2 NLL All-Stars hooking up on the pass with 1 minute and 7 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Both players selected to the NLL All-Star game, and the MVP, the man with the ball right now.
You can't miss him. He's got the orange shoes out there. Matches the red hair. Very flashy, quick guy. That's Mark Steinhaus. And he'll really make things happen.
Winds, fires, goes over the top of the net, off the stick of Dutton behind the net. He's double teamed, getting away from a check by Brett Bucktooth. Now trying to get around Steinhaus, and he runs him over. Rochester down the other end of the floor. Kersey can't hang on to the pass. Picked up by Chapman. Feeds it over the shot. He scores. Sean Grant is first of the night.
Well, we were talking about that a little bit. John Grant not having his first goal. Very unlike John Grant not to have a goal in any quarter of an NLL game, a National Lacrosse game. And right there, he gets his first one of the evening on a great look from Sandy Chapman. Just a cross-crease feed. John Grant having Thompson moving all over the place. Just an easy dump in for the NLL National Lacrosse League all-time scoring leader, or excuse me, single-season scoring record leader, John Grant.
Dump back now to Ken Millen. Millen has the right wing side, dumps it behind the net. Sean Evans trying to work his way up top. 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. Sean Evans dumps it across, fed in front to Stephen Hoare. He's knocked down to the turf, still gets the shot off, but Thompson makes the save. Cooling goes after it. Millen and Scott Evans trying to take it away. 8 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Scott Evans dumps it over to Sean Evans, the shot, save, rebound, and it's picked up. And that's going to do it after 3 quarters of play here at the Blue Cross Arena. It's the Rochester Knighthawks in the lead, 12-4.
That ought to do it.
Assuming you've done enough for retirement doesn't make much sense either. That's why you should invest with Edward Jones to make sure you're on the right track.
We know what men like. New Mitchum Smart Solid. Powerful protection, unbeatable against white residue. Wow, let's see that again. For powerful all-day protection that doesn't come off on your shirt, be a smart Mitchum man.
Well, the battery's good, and the starter's brand new. So I figure it's got to be the alternator, right? Well, I go down to AutoZone to get a new one. The guy says, well, let's check out the old one first. No sense buying something you don't need. Turns out it's just a bad cable. You know, I could have spent a lot of money swapping out parts till I got it right. But with AutoZone, piece of cake.
Last year, 2,000 elite runners covered over 26 miles, hurdled over Heartbreak Hill, conquered Coolidge Corner, and hit the tape in record time.
The fastest Boston Marathon ever!
The race to repeat is on. Plus, our troops run the marathon in Iraq. The 111th Boston Marathon, presented by John Hancock, live Monday at 9:30 a.m. on Versus. The fastest game on turf is here. The National Lacrosse League Championship game. Saturday, May 12th. Only on Versus.
1985, Gretzky makes the great one seem like an understatement. 1994, Messier backs up his mouth with his stick. 2006, Doug Waite separates shoulder, lifts cup with his heart. April 2007, the NHL scoring champ comes home for his playoff debut. Senators Penguins Game 3, tonight at 6 Eastern on Versus.
Welcome back to the Blue Cross Arena, and the progressive direct save of the game is Mike Thompson on Bill Greer. A huge save on number 20 of the Rochester Knighthawks. Thompson denies Bill Greer in a point-blank save. And Thompson is now out of the game. Daniel Sams, the rookie, a 2006 draft pick, a sixth-rounder. He is now in goal, number 86 for the Buffalo Bandits.
And Darius Kilgore, the head coach, general manager for the Buffalo Bandits, deciding to pull his second-string goalie there in favor of getting some times for the young Daniel Sams for the Buffalo Bandits. So we'll see what he can do tonight in his debut here for the Bandits.
Stainhouse now dumps it up top. 12-4 Rochester, 14:48 to play. Bucktooth trying to get around Kugavin, flips it over to Stainhouse. Stainhouse still with it. Wines fires the shot, and Weatherup got a piece of it. And the loose ball is picked up by Greer, and the headman pass is taken by Schiller, who's going to wait for some offensive help off the bench, and he gives it to Scott Evans. Evans watched by Smith. He hits John Grant. Grant dumps it down low to Williams. Williams now trying to get around one, dumps it left wing side to Acursi, over to Williams. Williams now feeds it in front of the net. Acursi's tied up. 6 seconds left on the shot clock, and that one is taken away by Hill of Buffalo. And the Bandits now in transition. Paulus winds, fires, and a stick save by Weatherup. Oh, and a big hit on Sandy Chapman behind the net, and Dostie now to Paulus, dumps it in front, Teeth the shot, and Weatherup looked behind it, and he still had it.
I'm just watching Weatherup play right now, and he is really standing on his head, and for a goalie, that means he's saving everything. I mean, 4 goals here for a guy who has not seen much time at all. 9 games played, in which he finished 8, and that's pretty good. Excuse me, that's the other end. That's Thompson, but Weatherup not seeing much time at all here for Rochester, and it's just amazing to see him play this well, not seeing as many shots as their starter O'Toole.
And I talked to Weatherup before the game. He said he was a little nervous, but he was really excited. And a shot by Dostie is kicked away by Weatherup. And Weatherup, who was signed in February by the Knighthawks, standing tall tonight. And Weatherup, who came in with a .400 save percentage, going to improve that after this evening. The shot, and he scores! Roger Weiss bounces it past Weatherup. It's 12-5.
Nice athletic move there by Weiss. Just kind of receives the pass inside, about 10 yards out, and fires underhand on the left side. And just as we talk about Weatherup standing on his head, he's beat there by Roger Weiss for the Buffalo Bandits. Trying to make a run here. Still a lot of time here to make a run. They just can't get into it. They need some sort of spark. Bringing in Daniel Sams in the goaltender and trying to get something going for the Bandits.
For those of you who just joined us, John Tavares, who is the most prolific scorer in NLL history, getting a night off tonight because the shot, and it's kicked away, swatted at, and it's still on top of the crease. Tainhouse goes after it, but John Tavares getting the night off. Buffalo already has the number 2 seed locked up, so head coach Darris Kilgore giving Tavares a night off, and obviously your offense is not going to be the same without your number 1 scorer.
Certainly, and he's the glue there, and you got also Captain Rich Kilgore for the Bandits, who's not in the lineup tonight, not seeing action. They're resting these guys up. They know they got a tough game against the Minnesota Swarm coming up, who they've beaten twice this year, the Bandits. So they're looking forward to that, resting up, getting some guys in the lineup who haven't played, but you know they're not going to gel, absolutely. And Rochester on the other end, too, doing the same, knowing they've got a first-round home game coming up here at the Rochester Blue Cross Arena, and they're just resting up here, but nonetheless, seeing a great hard-hitting action game here tonight in the National Lacrosse League.
So Grant trying to take it away from Laverty. Kugavin goes after it to help out. Dostie in there for Buffalo. Grant still digging for it. Laverty getting around the double team, shoved down to the turf, and the loose ball picked up by Billy D. Smith, and a loose ball push on the Knighthawks.
So you really want to, obviously go off on a winning note going into the playoffs, and that's great for the Rochester Knighthawks here. Buffalo not having John Tavares in the lineup means a lot. That's, at least a few points, if not 5 to 7, as we saw last night. But John Grant is definitely that glue we talked about for the Buffalo Bandits.
And Williams takes the pass deep in Bandits territory, and Grant 5 points away from tying Tavares' 2001 record for most points in a season. He's got a goal and 3 assists tonight. Flipped up top, and that one is taken away, and back away come the Bandits. 2-on-2 the other way. Seymour, watched there by Stephen Hoare. Dumps it in front of the net, taken there by Paulus. Feeds it over to Teeth, the shot, and it's knocked away. Schiller goes after it. Picked up by Crosby. Over to Paulus. Lines, he fires. That's knocked down by Dutton. Another shot. Kick save, Weatherup.
Phil Weatherup, again, seeing everything very, very well. Another great save inside. Buffalo shooting and picking up a lot of loose balls off the shots. And Weatherup just withstanding the storm of shots coming in from the Bandits and really holding Buffalo at bay.
Tainhouse dumps it over right wing side. Crosby feeds it over the shot, and that one goes off the side of the net by Paulus. Paulus in front of the net off the stick of Teet. And Stephen Hoare is going to pick it up for the Knighthawks. He's got 2 goals tonight, and he ducks away from a check by Paulus over to Millen, and that one is knocked away by Jason Crosby of the Bandits. Feeds it down now to Phil Sanderson, and on goal, the shot, he scores! Phil Sanderson on a breakaway beats Weatherup. It's 12-6.
Well, one of the keys to the game also for the Bandits was to get into that transition game and get to Phil Weatherup, and they didn't do that for almost 3.5 quarters here. Finally, they do in that transition, and they get the long pass down, and Sanderson, the recent acquisition from Toronto, notches it beats Weatherup over his left side. And Weatherup there having a great game, but not withstanding that shot by Sanderson, who scores it.
And 10:08 to go. And the Knighthawks in the lead 12-6. This is the finale, the regular season finale for both teams. And that last goal, Sanderson. And Crosby with that great outlet pass. Rochester now with it. Sanderson guarding Scott Evans over to Grant. The shot, and Sams makes the save. And a loose ball push as Williams was knocked over to the left of Sams. 12-6 Knighthawks, 9:47 to go here from the Blue Cross Arena.
So you wouldn't cut just the first knuckle of your pinky off for $1 million?
Yeah, my lacrosse, my whole career would be over.
Get a robotic finger. I'd cut my hand. I'd do it too. You know I'd do it. I'm crazy.
He wouldn't either.
Of course he wouldn't.
He's a lacrosse player.
That fool. Brody, pass me some wings, man.
Crazy about lacrosse? Check out the new RBK lacrosse gear, worn by the best in the NLL, like Brody Merrill.
Blue cheese, anybody?
You just hit Leon with chicken.
Damn, man.
Allow 6.
Tonight at 6 and a freeze, punk.
I was watching that first one.
There's more.
Would you like the remote?
Why would I need a remote?
Crazy about lacrosse? Then check out the new RBK lacrosse gear, worn by the best in the NLL, like Rookie of the Year Brody Merrill.
Dude, hold up. Your commercial's on.
Reebok, official outfitter of the National Lacrosse League.
You're awesome.
I always wanted to be a doctor, but not just to work a certain number of years and then retire. I promised myself that I would get to the point where I would be able to give back and share what I know, and not just have a career, but a real purpose.
You once made a promise to yourself about your future. At John Hancock, we have the products you need to help build, protect, and sustain the future you've always wanted. John Hancock, the future is yours.
I was talking to my buddy from the suburbs about all the things that need to be done this time of year. Fertilizing, spraying, trimming, mulching, mowing. He says he has people who do all that. I said same here. Me, myself, and I.
Time to spring into savings at Tractor Supply. Through April 22nd, get a $300 gift card when you buy our 23-horsepower Husky Supreme, or a $150 card with this 20-horsepower Husky. The stuff you need out here is in here. Tractor Supply.
And Rochester still waiting to see who they'll meet in the first round of the playoffs. Buffalo will host their East Division semifinal on Sunday, April 22nd at 2 p.m. at HSBC Arena. They'll meet the Minnesota Swarm. Buffalo now shorthanded. The penalty to Billy D. Smith. Over to Ken Millen. Fires. Sams makes the save. Loose ball picked up by Millen in the near corner. As Rochester will reset their power play. The #1 power play unit in the league. The shot. And that one's knocked away. Picked up by a Kersey. Back up top for Grant. Grant over to Williams. Flipped in front to Ken Millen. Millen now shaking off a check by Phil Sanderson. Grant over to a Kersey. Scores!
Making it look easy, the Rochester Knighthawks on a little flip pass from John Grant over to Mike Kersey. And Kyle Laverty trying to mix it up a little bit after the shot. But Kersey wants nothing to do with it. As Rochester walking away with this one, 9 minutes to go. You hate to call it over, but Buffalo certainly is flat in this whole game, really not stepping up and challenging the Rochester Knighthawks.
So Grant with another assist. And he's got 111 points right now as Stephen Hoare takes it away. Grant will win the league scoring crown, the first Nighthawk to do that. Sean Evans to Williams. The shot. Sams makes the save. The loose ball is picked up by Phil Sanderson. He dumps it over to his right. And now across midfield by Cooling, and a penalty upcoming to Rochester with 8:40 to go. Over to Roger Weiss. Now to Dostie. Buffalo with the extra attacker. Over to Paulus. Paulus has to track it down in the near corner. Now a penalty coming up. Might be another one. The shot, and Weatherup's going to smother it. There's 2 penalties coming up. The original call on Sean Evans, and now we might be getting another penalty to Rochester. It looks like Pat Dutton is going to head off as well.
It was either Dutton or Ditzel inside on the hold. Actually checked that slash on Webster and Cornell grad Pat Dutton. So 2 penalties there handed out. The delayed penalty to Evans, and then the penalty to Dutton will both serve. So it'll be 5-on-3 in favor of the Buffalo Bandits as they start the ball up top.
And Buffalo, this is their third 5-on-3. Buffalo 2 for 7 tonight on the power play. Stainhouse, left wing side, trying to dump it down low. That one was knocked away by Greer, but retrieved by Tainhouse. Now up top, now fed across. Tainhouse, cross crease pass. It goes too far for Dostie, and Chapman's there to try to scoop it up. Dostie now pressuring Chapman. Kicked that in the far corner, and Chapman comes away with it. Chapman now trying to outrun Tainhouse. Sidesteps a stick check now over to Millen. Millen now with it. He has it stripped away. Stephen Hoare is going to pick it up. Trying to avoid the over and back call. Watched there by Billy D. Smith. Takes on the double team. Now a triple team. Still gets through. Hoare now still on his feet and rolls it behind the net. Great work by Stephen Hoare.
Stephen Hoare doing a great job for the Rochester Knighthawks, killing off that penalty. 59 seconds. He just exerted a tremendous amount of energy trying to run that penalty off. 54 seconds left in the two-minute penalties to the Rochester Knighthawks.
7:10 to go. He scored. That one, I believe, deflects off the stick of Steve Toll and rolls past Phil Weatherup. The 7th Buffalo Bandit goal is aided by Steve Toll.
Steve Toll, known for his great hands and the ability to knock down passes and pick passes off. This is one that got away from him off the deflection. He did get a stick on it and deflected it right in the goal. You see that in hockey from time to time. Same thing in lacrosse. The deflection, Toll knows he knocked that one in. Closest man to the goal gets the goal.
So that goal, a power play goal. We'll wait to see who gets credit for the Bandits' goal at 7:51 here in the fourth quarter. Dan Teat now flips it over to Paulus. Back now to Dostie. Dostie over to Roger Weiss. The shot, he scores! Delby Paulus stuck in behind the D. It's 13-8.
And that's a power play goal right there. And again, I talked about games of spurts. Buffalo going on a little run here. Getting to Weatherup twice. And Buffalo really making a run on a nice little cut inside by Buffalo's Delby Paulus. Their Rutgers product. And a feed right across from Roger Weiss. And puts it right in. Makes it look easy for the extra man goal for the Buffalo Bandits.
So Dostie got credit for the goal that was deflected in by Steve Toll, and 2 straight power play goals. It's 13-8, and back away come the Bandits again. A 3-on-2 break. Fed over to Seymour. He grabs it out of the air, takes it to the cage, and rips it wide. Loose ball is picked up there by Greer, and now Rochester, 6.5 to go. They lead by 5. Evans now flips it back for a Kersey, and it's knocked away by Bonterre. And now Sean Evans will steal it away. And an illegal pick call. It'll be Buffalo possession. 6:18 to go. And Stainhouse across midfield. Now the Bandits working it up top. As Weiss dumps it over the shot, Weatherup makes the save. Loose ball, Dostie fighting for it, another shot, and it's knocked over the glass and into the crowd.
And Weatherup got a piece of that one, and yet the ball is going back to Rochester. May have missed the cage, didn't hit the goalie or the actual pipe, so possession goes back to the Rochester Knighthawks here.
Bounced over to Scott Evans. 5:40 to go. Here in the fourth quarter, 13-8 in favor of the home team. Fed in front of the net, rolls in on Sams, and he's got to use some fancy stick work to keep that one out. Fed over to Lamberty. Across midfield. Dumps it now to Tainhouse. Has it on the half wall, watched there by Dutton. Over now to Paulus. Paulus feeds it in front of the net. Crosby shot denied by Weatherup. Loose ball. Tainhouse behind the Rochester goal. Over now to Bucktooth. Feeds it now to Crosby. Crosby fights off to the shot. Weatherup looks underneath them. And a crease violation as Weatherup was able to keep that out of the goal as Bandits were flying everywhere. 4:59 to go, and the Knighthawks lead the Bandits 13-8.
We do have a confirmed sighting. Copy that, blank SUV. We do have a visual.
Introducing the all-new Dodge Nitro. Careful, it's Nitro active.
Maybe oil and water don't mix, but oil and blood do. Valvoline, 100 years under the hood.
Last year, 2,000 elite runners covered over 26 miles, hurdled over Heartbreak Hill, conquered Coolidge Corner, and hit the tape in record time.
The fastest Boston Marathon ever!
The race to repeat is on. Plus, our troops run the marathon in Iraq. The 111th Boston Marathon, presented by John Hancock, live Monday at 9:30 a.m. on Versus.
I Can-Am. Can you?
Pro racer Mike Penland is part of the Can-Am racing team.
Lots and lots of horsepower. There's no hesitation. I can leave them in the dust. Can you?
Now technology and simplicity have come together to create a cell phone unlike any other.
Bigger buttons, bigger numbers. Let me try it.
Jitterbug is the perfect cell phone for me and my mom. It's nice how the numbers light up.
Wow, how about that? The soft air cushion really makes a difference. Every word comes through loud and clear.
No cutesy symbols, no flashing lights, just a great phone.
This is good. Jitterbug is the cell phone my parents will actually use.
Special operators can assist you 24 hours a day.
May I add that name to your phone list, Mrs. Davis?
Call now, 1-800-832-0082. A Jitterbug is yours with 3 easy payments of $49. Service as low as $10 a month. Call today and get a free car charger.
Today's game is brought to you by the all-new 2007 Dodge Nitro, loaded with adrenaline. And Reebok, the official outfitter and equipment provider of the National Lacrosse League. And Progressive Direct. Think easier. Think Progressive. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today.
The Dodge bold and powerful play of the game. Number 19 of Rochester, Scott Evans, doing his best John Grant impersonation. And Rochester now with the ball. Scott Evans, a huge goal there. As the big man for the Knighthawks, a big goal, and the shot by Kersey goes wide of the net. And a fight for the ball to the left of Sams. He's been playing this fourth quarter. The rookie, 2006 draft pick of the Bandits in the 6th round. Stainhouse comes away with it. Trying to get down the floor. Now penalty upcoming to Rochester. It looks like Sean Evans going to keep tacking on some penalty minutes tonight.
And he can't believe that he got a slash on that. Just riding really hard in that corner. But again, calling it tight as you see Steinhaus work.
Up top, Dostie behind the net. Buffalo working around with the extra attacker. That's off the stick of Dostie. Sean Evans goes after it. Flip back to Tainhouse. And rolls it in on goal. It's scooped off the floor by Chapman. And again, Sean Evans heading off the floor for Rochester. And that's been a very familiar call tonight. And Sean Evans will pick up his 11th and 12th penalty minutes of the night. (13-8) in Buffalo with another power play opportunity. They've converted on their last 2, and that's where the score is 13-8. Crosby dumps it over. Now back over to Weiss. Up top to Crosby. Left wing to Stainhouse. Backing in, bounces it over to Crosby. Now over to Weiss. In the high slot over to Stainhouse. He crosses him up. And the loose ball now is fed in front, picked off by Steve Toll. Across midfield, 2-on-1 break. Toll to Greer. Greer spinning away from one. He can't get the shot off, and he's going to pull it back up top.
Smart play by Greer, pulling it out, and recognizing 3-on-2 in favor of Buffalo, and gets the offense on for the Buffalo or for Rochester, and see what they can do on a 5-on-4 situation.
And the Knighthawks still shorthanded for the next minute and 10 seconds. Scott Evans with it. Down the near boards, a shot clock violation. And it's going to be Buffalo ball with 3:06 to go. And Rochester in the lead by 5, trying to improve to 8-0 at home this year. The only team that can make that claim if Rochester can hang on. Delby Paulus dumps it down low, gets it back. Now up top to Bonterre, over to Weiss, back to Bucktooth. The shot, save made by Weatherup. And flipped over to his left. Schiller gives it over to Toll. Toll now looking down the floor, and that one is picked off by Weiss. Weiss now over to Delby Paulus. Paulus dumps it across to Weiss, takes the shot over to Bucktooth. Bucktooth now over to Weiss, right wing side, now to Bucktooth. Feeds it over to Paulus in front of the net, off the stick of Teedham, back away comes Greer. Greer now gets away from one, 2-on-1 break. Greer taking it in on goal, he scores!
That's Bill Greer coming down, using the wheels, going coast to coast for the Rochester Knighthawks. A strong lefty move, rips that upper right corner, uses Pat Dutton for a little bit of bait there off the fake. And Billy D. Smith bites on that fake and leaves him wide open for Greer to beat Daniel Sams.
12:57, the time of the other Rochester shorthanded goal, their second of the game. 2:03 now remaining in this contest, and a face-off violation on the Knighthawks. 14-8, a 6-goal lead for Rochester. Trying to improve their franchise winning streak to 12 games heading into the Champions Cup playoffs. And now less than 2 to go. Dumped over to Weiss. Up top to Paulus. Feeds it over. Bucktooth shot knocked down and grabbed out of the air by Weatherup. He's got a man breaking, and Sean Evans can't hang on. That one hung up there forever.
That was a field goal shot. I thought I almost hit the scoreboard up here, but a nice pass almost. Just couldn't rope it in for Rochester.
Fed in front, and Bucktooth misses. Schiller now gets away from one. Fires it across midfield, taken there by Scott Ditzel. And just an interesting story. Scott Ditzel, Marshall Abrams, and Reggie Thorpe, all from Syracuse, all went to Syracuse University, and they have a little bet going about loose balls and points, and they have golden belt buckles that they're playing for, and Marshall Abrams will win the points race, and Scott Ditzel will win the loose balls. The shot goes wide of the net. Ditzel picks it up.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing to be wearing a big belt buckle around here?
I think that's a good thing, you know, especially Central New York, you know.
Syracuse New York products, or Syracuse University products, both played for Simmons there in Syracuse and Desco.
Rochester now with 40 seconds to play. Fired over left wing side, and Ditzel will let it go. Picked up by Brown. He can't pull the trigger. Knocked into the air by Laverty. 30 seconds remaining, and a shot clock violation on the Knighthawks. That'll be Buffalo ball.
And that should just about do it here for the Rochester Knighthawks. Final 8 home game winning streak.
So Rochester will improve to a league best 14-2. They'll set a franchise record for wins in a season, and they'll go into the playoffs with 12 straight wins. The shot from the outside goes wide of the net. 9 seconds to go. Fed over left wing side, and now we've got, I think that's Jack Reed tying up with Bonterre. Reed trying to get away. the big man for the University of Massachusetts, against Bonterra, and here we go. They're taking their jerseys off. And Reed, the rookie, they go toe-to-toe. Reed now with a quick left. Bonterra just surveying. Reed looking for the big punch with the right hand. Reed now misses with a left. Now a quick jab, and that's swatted away by Bonterra. Now another left by Reed. Still waiting to see if these two big men get locked up. As Reed setting up for the right hand, and a big miss. And now the uppercut by Bonterra. And now he's in tight, and now firing right-handed uppercuts. Reed now gets off a right hand. Now another right, and another right to the back of the head of Bonterra. And they're both tied up. And let's see if these two guys get separated. And Bonterra, a quick shot afterward. And Jack Reed and Bonterra. Troy Bonterra, one of the tougher men in the league. And Jack Reed, the rookie, out of UMass, going toe-to-toe.
Couple of big boys going at it there. Bonterra, a big dude, is right. And that should do it for him. Both those guys with 3 seconds left going off the floor.
So 3.8 seconds to go. And usually you expect one of the Evans brothers to fight at the end of the night, and it's Jack Reed.
Jack Reed, the UMass product, coming out here. The guy is, known for his aggressive style play, and comes out really strong here and takes it all off, and goes toe-to-toe with one of the tougher guys in the league.
Yeah, Troy Bonterra, I mean, he is just a big, powerful man, and Jack Reed taking him on. And this game is over.
They just blow the whistle, and that's it.
14-8, the Knighthawks win. And Rochester with a 6-goal victory. They're now 14-2. Buffalo falls to 10-6. And very shortly we'll get the player of the game handed out tonight. And Phil Weatherup should definitely be in consideration.
Yeah, basically stood on his head and more than likely should be that player of the game.
And Phil Weatherup is the Reebok player of the game. And his first start of the season, his first start since 2004. And he comes up with a huge performance tonight against the rival Buffalo Bandits. Coming up with 49 stops tonight is Phil Weatherup. He only had 4. Coming into tonight's game, he puts up 49 against the Bandits.
Yeah, you got to give him a lot of credit here. A guy comes in cold, takes over for the league. They're one of the league's top performers in Pat O'Toole, and stands on his head. Comes up with a great performance. Reebok player of the game.
So congratulations to Phil Weatherup. Rochester wins 14-8 as they complete the 2-game sweep of the Buffalo Bandits. They finish 8-0 at home. And Buffalo goes into the playoffs with 2 straight losses to one of their biggest East Division rivals. The final here tonight from the Blue Cross Arena, it's Rochester 14 and Buffalo 8.
Our executive producer for the National Lacrosse League Game of the Week is Terry Wagner. Tonight's game produced by John Catalano and directed by Pedro Ugaldi. Don't miss the 2007 National Lacrosse League Championship game on Saturday, May 12th at 4:30 Eastern live on Versus. For Bill Mahar, I'm Craig Rubzinski. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you here next time on the National Lacrosse League Game of the Week. Good night, everyone.
The spirit of competition in the equestrian world is unparalleled. Not only is it horse and rider competing against each other, but against the course as well, and sometimes the course wins. Tonight, the best the AGA has to offer. Compete on the biggest stage and for the biggest prize in show jumping.